I moved here to St. Augustine, Florida to live my dream life. It didn't take long to realize other people did too. People who took a leap, followed what they loved, and built something of their own in this magical little town. The Soul-Led Sessions is about those people, the stories behind the businesses you see, visit, and fall in love with. Not just what they've created, but what it really took to get there. The risks, the pivots, the moments that changed everything, and what it actually looks like to build a life that feels aligned. These conversations are here to connect you to the heart of entrepreneurship, and maybe even to what's possible for your own life. I'm here with Nils and Bailey Rowland. Thank you so much for joining me today at Crème de la Coco, the most beautiful bakery in St. Augustine, in St. Johns County, if I may say so. Welcome.
You.
Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking time. Tell me a little bit about how you got started with this beautiful bakery.
I mean, we both studied hospitality management, and Nils went to pastry school, and I also studied marketing. And so in college, we would just kind of laugh about it, like, wouldn't it be fun one day if we opened a bakery and you could do all the baking and I could market the business and do the front of house?
Wow.
And it was just a dream back then.
Yeah.
And as we got a little older and a little practice, we eventually said, let's do it.
Amazing. What a
Literally.
spectacular combination. So yeah, it was just a split decision like that. Like, okay, it's time. We're going to do this.
Yeah. I didn't know what in food I was going to do, but I did know it was going to happen. And recently, some of my really good friends that I've known since, we were like 6 reminded me that back when Food Network first came out, I always said, I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be that. And then some guys I played college with in lacrosse that live in the area came back and they were like, you were saying that. And so
That's great.
it's nice to see it all come together, and she's the best at what she does. She runs the place. I work here.
That's great.
It's kind of how it works.
She's the boss, huh?
Yeah. It
love
makes it easier. I'm not the most organized person, but just when it all came together and, we got the practice and working jobs and everything like that, it all just hit at the right time and everything just went really well and kind of snowballed up.
Yeah, that's great. What a literally great combination of skills, like skill sets to have. And you can come in and be creative and experiment and try new things, and you just keep the books going and make sure the place looks great and is advertised well.
I feel like there are worse things to sell, right? You
Totally.
know, like it makes people happy what we do. And we're a part of their most special celebrations in life. So what an honor that is for us.
Totally.
So.
How special. That's great. And I learned today that you have 9 pastry chefs.
Yep.
That's incredible. So they're all back there doing their own thing, busy as can be. You get a lot of custom orders, I'm sure, a lot of weddings and birthday parties, celebrations, like you said. What's your favorite part of all of this? What do you love doing the most?
For me personally, I like to see people when they're engaged and then, do their engagement parties, their weddings, and then their baby showers, their first birthdays, and
keep
so
coming
on.
back.
And that's really special that we've been able to be a part of people's lives just by being here and them wanting to come back to us. So.
Right. You get to hear their stories and see their growth. And
I'll piggyback off of that a little bit. But in the beginning, it was a little bit different. I really wanted to do a good job. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to put out like the best product and all of that.
Right.
It sort of shifted, 4 or 5 years ago, kind of right after COVID. It shifted more towards, I realized that we're in the memory business. We're not in, we are a part of everybody's big day, whether it's a birthday, a wedding, a first, everything. It's all emotionally invested. Every cake purchase has some sort of emotional investment in it.
Yeah.
And so it's an honor that we get to be a part of making those memories. And my job is to make them as good as they can be.
Wow.
And if something doesn't go right, make sure it's not a disaster and make sure it's a good experience versus like a rough one.
Right.
But it's really the memory making is what's the most important part of all of it, I think, because you can have a great product, but if the service is bad, you might go once. You can have an okay product, but if the service is amazing, you'll go again.
Right.
And then if you're really lucky and you can have a great product and great service and be good value,
Yes.
then people come to you all the time.
They're gonna keep
for
coming
everything.
back.
And
Yeah.
so the memories are where it's at.
That's really special that you get to be a part of all of that, and how it was unexpected. You weren't really expecting that to be the biggest blessing of it all, right? So I love that in entrepreneurship. You think, you're going to be one way, or you may think a certain way about it, and then it just completely turns on you and changes and pivots, and right? There's so many ways to just shift. That's so cool. And I love that you honor that and you hold that dear. That's special. I think that's what makes you so special here too, is you can feel the love put into every single thing. I mean, there's so many beautiful options here for yummy treats. Can't even tell you how many times we've come here for yummy treats. We love your vanilla. That's our staple in our house to use for baking and lattes in the morning. Just things like that we find really special here. All of the little accoutrements that you can add to cakes and parties, you have decorations, and it's really come a long way, I think, even since we've been living in this area. Were you brought up here in St. Augustine? Are you from here originally?
We're both from Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too far, but I spent most of my summers over here in Volcano Beach.
Ah, so nice.
So it was always a special place.
Yes.
And then when I was in college, or we were in college, my parents moved over here from Gainesville.
Mm-hmm.
And we tossed around the idea of going back to Gainesville, but it didn't seem like necessarily the best fit for two hospitality management majors.
Right,
So
right.
St. Augustine, we just enjoyed coming here. We started coming here almost every weekend, and so we realized, okay, we really like this place.
Yes.
Maybe we just moved here.
This is where it is going to be.
Yeah.
Huh? And what were you doing at the time that you opened the bakery? What were you?
So
were you
she
working
was
elsewhere?
membership and marketing director at the Florida Yacht Club. I had just helped open up a place downtown, and then it got to a point where I was just like, you know what, I just gotta jump in and do it. And she kind of gave me a pep talk at some point, and she was just like, hey, either like do it or stop complaining about it, right?
Right.
And so,
nicer
kinda,
way to say.
I mean, but it kind of, I was like, all right, yeah. Like, well, if they can do it, I can do it, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how that worked out.
Totally.
But it just, I think we started everything right place, right time, grew with the city, grew with the wedding industry, grew with the hospitality industry. We're able to fill a lot of the gaps that came up, and just fortunate enough that we have a really great team, and everybody that's been with us, people have been with us for almost 10 years now, so a lot of the time, and the team in the back and up front is everybody's just exceptionally good, which it's more them than us at this point, because some of them are more important to the day-to-day than I am at this point. But
that's great.
They just do a really good job.
They do a better job than you do.
Yeah, on a lot of it, yeah.
That's amazing.
It's great.
That's great. Well, being here 10 years, how long have you been open total?
About 11.
11 years. Wow.
Yeah.
So 10 years, that's a long time in this industry, I feel.
Yeah.
Right?
It
For
feels
somebody
like
to stick
it
around.
sometimes, and then it feels fast all at the same time.
Right.
It is. But that's one of the things that I probably hang my hat on as a success. It's how long the people you work with want to be there.
Absolutely.
And if, you're getting to the point where people are there the entire time, that's always the goal. I don't want like high turnover. I want people that, we trust each other, we're family.
Totally.
It's going to be for the rest of our lives, but that entails us doing our job and growing and trying to make sure opportunity keeps coming up for everybody.
It's great.
I was
More like a
gonna
family.
say, yeah, that's the other favorite part of the business. The internal part is that for some people, we saw them come in as teenagers, and now they're living out their careers with us.
Wow.
And also, there's not a lot of places for pastry chefs to go. It's kind of a dying breed. So to be able to provide an opportunity for others to live out their dreams is just another
bonus,
part
right?
of it.
Unexpected
Yeah.
perk of and getting that, it makes you want to come to work every day, to have those special things happening here.
And there's just not a lot of places where the pastry chef is like the head show. right? You go to a lot of restaurants and it's like half a table side thing. It's kind of an afterthought, which is tough because I do think pastry is kind of a dying art. There's just less and less, but it's one of the few places I think you can come but you're gonna do all types of pastry, right? It's like a fully encompassed thing, and I think that's part of it too, is there's a lot more creativity, and it's the focus, and we've got all the stuff you need, and just tons of flat sheet trays, which is hard to come by in hotels and stuff. But no, I think and she's right, it's the people here too. Like I'm coming to hang out with my friends.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That makes
They might
it
not
so
think of
easy.
it that way.
They may not think of it that way, but I do.
They're all your buddies.
Yeah.
You're not theirs.
They are.
They're yours.
Yeah. They're my family.
And then your customers as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm imagining there are repeat customers like ourselves that come in and, like you said, they go through all the special events with you, but maybe even just the person who comes in every Wednesday to get their special treat or whatever, right? Or the celebrations. I love post soccer game or post, something coming here, and kids want to come here for sure. That's their favorite place in the world. And I think the child in all of us, the kids, that child at heart wants to come and indulge in the yummy treats too. So
that's the way I want it to feel when people walk in. Like, no matter how old you are, you're a kid in a candy shop.
I love it. I love it. And you've done a great job of creating that here. This space is so welcoming, also just so playful, so fun yet sophisticated. It still has that okay, they're adults running this. It's not kids living out their childhood dream, right? It's real adult humans. So that's special here too, I think. If you have some advice, I always love when I speak to couples to discuss a little bit about how you separate business from home life, or don't you? Do you have rules? Do you have anything that you say, nah, we're going to leave this at the door?
We used to continue the day's work at home, but I think now we've just gotten to a point where it's like a mutual understanding that when we clock out, we're clocked out.
That's it. Yeah.
So, if we have to have a conversation, because sometimes it is hard for us to find time during the busy work day, but yeah, for the most part, we could just mentally separate the
Check
two.
out, right? That's good. Did that take a while to learn that, or did it come naturally?
It took a little bit. I mean, there's still days where there's conversations where stuff happens and it's just kind of got to be addressed.
Right,
but,
right.
I think as far as the work-life balance goes, ultimately we do two totally different things in the business, which I think is really important.
It separates
because
you.
it's, I'm pretty competitive. So when we're doing stuff in the kitchen and people are bumping ideas, it keeps us from competing, right? Because it's two different things. I mean, we cross over a little bit, but I think that's a really big part of it, because, she's got her team and all the people to handle all their problems, and I've got my team and we handle all of our problems. So it's a nice division of labor. And then it just, if you got to talk about it at home, great. If you don't, great. But if you can't get it done in the 8 to 10 hours you're at work, it can wait to the next day.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's great. I know it's tough for a lot of people. They don't realize again, unexpected things that come along with entrepreneurship as a couple. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that was going to be an issue. Or, you discover things about each other that you're also like, oh, they're that way. That's not what I expected. But also probably some great things too, that you realize what a great worker you've mentioned already, what a organized person you are, Bailey, and maybe you see some more creative things about Nils. And
Nils is very talented. So we, like you said, we're separate in our own ways. We are lucky enough to get to see each other every day, but we're not necessarily doing the same things.
Right.
And we have learned over time, but we've also had the opportunity to employ great leadership that's been extremely helpful for us and helping us solve any kind of issues. It feels like it's not just us anymore, it's a team.
It's a team.
Yeah. And I think if there was a piece of advice out of all that, if you were going to start your own thing, with your spouse, I would say it's figure out how to delegate the small things that are going to cause issues if they don't get done, right? I don't, use the computers. I don't really answer emails, but it's because
Yeah.
the way I do it doesn't mesh with the way they do it.
Right.
No, it just doesn't.
You
Like
know
I'm
they're
too
doing it.
shorthand. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's not professional enough, right?
Right,
So
right.
anything
Let them
that
handle that.
any inflection point that the other may do,
Yeah.
it just works better. It's like, for example, I always joke about this in the back. She doesn't think it happened, but it does. It's just when I do the artwork, she's very critical of it, right? And then so Victoria does almost all of the artwork at this point because she's better than me.
Wow.
But she's a lot less critical of Victoria, or a lot less sharp. And so it's really nice that Victoria
See
and
that.
her communicate about it, and then her and Brooke communicate about emails, so it takes away some of our shortcomings, right? And you just move them, right?
You don't
Because
nitpick at the
yeah,
things
right?
that
Because
are-
it's the little nitpicky stuff that has to get figured out how to like
Kind
push
of like
off,
a
right?
marriage, really the same.
I mean, it's a continuation.
Yeah.
But you just figure out what works, what doesn't work, and you got to actually proactively try to make it work.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it just goes.
Yeah,
So.
that makes sense actually, and it's great that you have a great team to be able to carry you with those things too, and pick up kind of the places that you might be lacking or that you're maybe not just cut out to do. That's really impressive. I feel like with business, being a business owner, when people are thinking about going into owning a business, they think, oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. How am I going to do this? And it's like streamline and delegate, right? I mean,
Exactly.
are you pretty good at delegating? It sounds like you're great at delegating.
Managing people is definitely not my strong suit or my favorite thing.
Okay.
I've always been sort of in a more independent position, so I didn't have a lot of experience with it, but it's something you just, I think
Right.
everybody, no matter how great of a leader you are, you get better as you practice it more.
Yes.
So, it's just there. It's just part of the business, and I try to practice it as much as I can.
That's great.
Yeah.
And improve maybe, or find ways to
Exactly.
grow in that field. And
Yeah, and
yeah, it's a
try to
skill
look-
probably you're not born with necessarily.
Exactly.
Leadership, yes, but not managing and, dealing with people that you've not done that before, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you have a small business, you're not just managing at work, but you're kind of managing people's personal lives too.
Yeah.
And it's hard to not let that pull on your heartstrings
Yes.
and separate those two things. So
Yeah, I could see that. It would be
everyone comes
Challenge.
with their own things.
It kind of, referencing that is life happens.
Yeah.
We're all adults here. The conversation when people start here is that we're all adults. Stuff's going to happen.
Yeah.
You have appointments. Things are going to go down.
Right.
It's everybody's job to accommodate it so that life doesn't get too heavy, right? Because if if you're at a job where they're like, you can't, right?
Right.
Well, okay. Or you can, and you're going to cover for the next person that has an issue,
Right,
Or
right.
you want to go on vacation for 2 weeks, well, we got to cover, right? But we do it for everybody.
do it
It's
for
not
everybody.
like
You work together to
but
figure out a
it's
solution.
It's getting to a point in a business where you don't have to have it from one individual, right? And that's in a way that makes it sound like people are less important,
Right.
But all it is it's just it means people are more important, right?
see,
We're willing
yeah.
to carry an extra person so that everybody can have more time off, a consistent schedule. You're not going to get crushed when something does, right? It's not
Yeah,
like
pure
it's just
teamwork.
it is, and
Yeah.
it's important, and it's just it can be tough sometimes, but it's just knowing that it happens. For example, me, it was. In 2021, I did a slip and slide, and then I couldn't. I had to have a pericardial window.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
I couldn't work for 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
Right, and then last year I tore my bicep. Couldn't do anything for 2-3 months. But in those instances, it almost forces delegation, and it forces people to see that they can do it. Because
Right. Capable.
without the missteps or the problems and stuff, everything's really easy, and it seems like it's all good, right? But when those happen, it really gives you a window into where the shortcomings are, and you can make adjustments and stuff. And a lot of times for people, it's realizing that they can do it, because there's this idea that you always got to have a safety net. Well, if
Right.
you're going to open your own business, there's no safety net, but that's when the game is real,
Yeah.
right? If there's no safety net, it's do or die, right?
gotta do it.
And I like competition because you either get better or worse, right? It's very rarely anything else, but I view it like that. It's
Yeah,
you got to
that's
figure
great.
out how to handle it so the next time it comes around ain't a big deal.
Totally.
Right? So
Great insight. Really great
Yeah,
insight.
you have to delegate and you have to trust people. Otherwise, it will be a very long, hard road.
Right, because you're doing most of the work, and
Yeah.
you just can't sustain that over time.
No.
Yeah, that's what a team is for.
Correct.
That's why you hired your team, right? And
Yeah.
sounds like that's why they stick around.
I hope so.
Right. There's a reason. There's a good reason they're still here, I think.
Yeah.
That's great. How about your family life? You have children at home?
We do.
And
We have a 7 and a 9-year-old,
Okay.
2 little boys.
Very nice.
They keep us busy at home.
I bet. And do they come into the space at all and
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure enjoy their desserts from time to time?
They want to eat all the things. And they're not tired of it somehow yet. But, hopefully they don't necessarily have to work here one day, but hopefully they'll be inspired by us in some way, or at least learn to work hard.
Yeah, I was going to ask that if they're a little young yet, but did they talk about owning their own business in the future or
Remy
wanting
talks
to
about
be
farms.
farms? He's in
Farms and
farms.
animal blood. That's held true for a while now.
Wow.
What does Rory talk about? He's talked about running Crème de la Coco and stuff.
Roy wants his own YouTube channel.
I love it. That's great. My 8-year-old does as well. And she thinks I'm crazy for not letting her have one, but
It's all right. He's entertaining. He's got a lot of pizzazz. So.
that's great.
They'll figure it out one day. It would be cool if they worked here and worked together and like kind of really make it like a family generational thing is kind of the goal. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. It's not a big deal.
No pressure.
But it would be cool to watch them be able to grow up. And it's like my off dream is just if they're work here when it happens and then they have kids, I can just cover for the first year, let them stay home, and then I'll take care of the kids after the first.
I love
right
that.
because
Yeah.
get through that first year, you can
good
do all
plan.
that, and then I'll step off and just hang out with the kids, and you can take care, right?
Sounds great.
So, but just kind of have that transition would be nice, but that you don't know if that's
You
going to
never
happen.
know.
It's a long ways
right.
away, but
right. You become engineers or
ideally it would be great.
Yeah, that would be super. I mean, I'm sure you're very inspiring to them. They see you day in and day out going about your business and coming in here. That must be amazing for a young child.
They just run behind the counters and start to try to grab stuff, which is problematic. It's problematic because it's like this shop will be full of like 30 people and they just run back in their street clothes and they're like trying to grab stuff. And I'm like, stop. I'll just tell everybody that works here, I'm just like, just kick them out. Just kick them.
Get them out.
Trip them before they get out there. They're going, right? And so, but generally it's like after school or they just played a bunch and they're all sweaty. I'm just like,
Oh, no. Yeah, you can't bring your hands.
No, they try.
They
They try, but they've gotten good at asking now. So, yeah.
That's great. That's great. I mean, it's a special thing for them to be able to experience, not just having a bakery in your family, but also having that example. And, you're leading by example. That's a huge thing that I think maybe our generation and parents before us didn't really get to experience. There weren't that many entrepreneurs back in the day. You would work for somebody maybe, or if you were fortunate enough to own your own business, but I didn't get to see that growing up. I had my dad was an interior designer, so he was great at what he did, but he wasn't a great businessman, so I didn't get to see that aspect of things necessarily. But just in terms of like giving that to your child, that's pretty darn special, I think, to be able to pass that on. And if they do or not, that's great too, that you're giving them that option. You're not forcing it on them or training them from day one to be pastry. Do they bake with you at all? Do they ever do any?
A little
anything?
bit. If they ask, we'll do stuff, but it's not like a huge interest, which is totally fine. I didn't get into it until I was 21 in school, right?
Oh, wow.
Or after college, 22.
Really?
I don't know. Whenever I
I
graduated,
think
it was
they
the
would
year
rather
after.
eat.
Yeah,
They don't want to make it. They just want to eat it.
Which is fine, but we'll get there. It's just they got to get tall enough, and you can have stools and stuff. But a lot of the equipment we use back here is not
made for young kids.
It's heavy equipment.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
But actually, Remy loves to cook.
Remy does.
Does
he
he?
is good at cook. He cooks breakfasts and everything now and
Nice.
stuff. And
Train them while they're young.
Yes.
Advice.
he can cook the eggs well without browning them,
Right.
and they're seasoned well. And I don't know. It's
There you
nice.
go.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Then he can do the savory. You stick with the sweets,
Yeah.
and there's your meals every
For
day,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about the equipment in the back. Like, how did you? Well, you said you were 21 or 22 when you started.
22.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you started baking, so it wasn't even a thought before
Pastry
then.
was an accident for me.
Wow.
That wasn't what I was doing. I come from a very like science family. Like my dad was the chair of psychology at UF for like 35 years. My mom did neuroscience research and development at UF.
Wow.
So I was working in like neuroscience labs and stuff growing up. And then I just kind of always like I said, when Food Network first came out, it was like Alton Brown Good Eats. It was like, it was more educational, right? Instead of reality. And I watched, I made a deal with my parents at 13 that if they bought me a grill, I'd cook dinner every night. They did, so I started cooking dinner every night.
Wow.
Right? I got tired of eating the same 5 things. It was like hot dish, spaghetti, taco. Like, I was like, nah, man, we gotta get a little different
Change it up a little.
I think my dad was really happy about that. No more soup. My mom was a big soup maker.
Oh,
she made a lot of soups. They were good, but it was just soup in Florida. It was hot, man. Soup.
Not the perfect
but,
for our family.
You know, but it's okay. But no, and then I, graduated hospitality school because I always like dealing with people, and that's like a people business. And then I was managing some restaurants, and then didn't really love it. And my mom was like, well, you always like the cooking side, and the pastry school was the only place that had an opening while Bailey was finishing her marketing minor, and went and won everything in the in-school competitions. They were like, yo, you're really good at this.
No kidding.
But it's kind of why I say now, and they were like, so I started doing it, and it's, people always say chase your dreams. Sometimes chase what you're good at, and the dreams will change.
Wow,
right?
I love that.
So they change all the time, right? So it's like, my dream was, okay, I'm going to do science stuff. And then it turned out I was really good at pastry. I started doing that. And you're going to do what people tell you you're doing a great job at. Yeah. And you're going to start to like it. And especially if you're like winning, doing things, right? And okay, cool. So I'm really good at this. I'm like really, really good at it. And everybody's like, oh my God. And then, you get here and I want to be the best, right? But then the goal changes to make the best memories, right?
Wow.
So it's just, you kind of always got to, as you get older and you have kids, you kind of shift and see what really matters at the end of the day.
Yes.
And it's just, it's do what makes you happy and what makes the most people happy.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Not just your dream. So what was your dream, say, in high school or college?
Well, it's funny because I always joked about being like a Food Network chef guy. Like you could fact check this with all my friends, right? Like it's something I've been saying for a really long time. And they always thought it was hilarious. They were always like, oh, whatever.
Sure, buddy, right.
Right, and everybody was always all the way up through college, like, okay, whatever, right? And it just happened. I mean, I don't know what my dream was ahead of that.
Okay.
Right? I can't remember. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if I ever had like a specific thing that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be. I think it took me a while to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
And then when I did, it kind of all clicked.
It all just clicked, and it kind of paved the way for you, it sounds.
Yeah.
Rather than you trying to pave it, it just was there for you.
Yeah.
And that's where you met, at UF? Is that where you went to school?
We've known each other since 8th grade.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
We went to prom together.
You did.
We weren't
That's so
dating at the time.
sweet.
She knows
weren't
all
even
versions
dating.
of me. She knows all versions of Nils.
We went to a small school. We had
Yeah, we
about
did.
75 people in our graduating
goodness.
class. So
Wow.
we were just good friends for
Yeah.
many years. So yeah.
And then college together, you said UF, right? Or no, not?
Actually, we were at UCF.
Oh, UCF, okay. And then that's when you started dating, making plans, not making
Well, kind of
plans
all
for
that
the bakery,
happened
but-
is we were hanging out all the time, and then I was going on a first date with somebody else. I didn't realize it was a date, so I invited Bailey along.
That's a good story.
And then when we realized that it was a date, and we were always hanging out. She's always my best friend, and it just,
Awesome.
it all worked out.
Yeah, for sure. And here you are, entrepreneurs, parents.
Oh, yeah.
It all just happens pretty quickly. It sounds like, and now you have a 9 and 7-year-old. You started this 11 years ago, so things happened fast.
10
it
years is a
sounds.
long time.
Yes.
I think people don't realize how long 10 years are, right? 'Cause if
Yeah.
you can do all this in 10 years, think about what you can do in like 30, right?
Right.
I think life is short and long all at the same time, but I think people always view it on the short side, and then time goes by and they're like, oh my God, what happened?
What happened, right? Where'd that time go?
You need to be happening too. Right?
Yeah,
It's
totally.
important you're doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And then you started in this building. This has been your first, or did you start elsewhere?
We started across the street at Dose. Julie and John, who own that, Julie's from Gainesville. Her dad, Gary, is best friends with her dad, Larry.
Oh, get
So it's
out.
Gary and Larry.
That is hilarious.
Right? And
Yeah.
so this is sort of the Gainesville side of town.
The
But we
Gainesville.
rented about 120 square feet from them. They let us put a case in and we'd just fill it up and figure it out. And then we realized quickly we would need our own space eventually. And then this came up for rent and everybody was like, that's a terrible idea. Like, Everybody.
Really?
Everybody.
No one supported
Well,
you
it was
in
just
that.
that side of town 10 years ago was,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
the Equinox
totally
was
different.
like, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't. And I was like, nope, it's a good idea. And
I mean, really, it was just Julie.
yeah, it was just Julie.
It was
They
just
were the only
those.
ones.
But
Yeah.
I find when the masses tell you it's a bad idea, generally it's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Um,
Go against what
Well,
the
no,
masses
a lot of
say.
people told me it was a bad idea to do pastry. More people told me
Wow.
it was a bad idea to move here. And I think it's a default like protection thing people have. Like if
Sure.
it's scary, they tell you not to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it's scary, it's probably worth doing.
Right.
Right? Like
And any change, people are,
Yeah.
it's hard for them
you got to
to
figure that out.
Right. It's important. I mean,
It is.
change is the only steady in life, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's consistent, really.
I
is
will
change.
say that my dad, he's an entrepreneur. And I feel like no matter what we've wanted to do, where we've wanted to go, he's always been, like, always had our back, but said, no, dream bigger with what
Really?
you're doing.
Yeah.
So he's
Really?
actually how we have acquired all of our equipment.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Gary's like my second dad. He's so important to this place, right? He is a huge reason why we are the size we are. He finds all the equipment online, gets them from good deals and
Wow.
stuff. He's kind of like the ghost in the machine. He's like the soul of the place, right? It's just
Yeah.
he's very. I think once he tried it and he kind of saw what it was, he understood where it could go,
Amazing.
right? And he saw it all.
Yeah.
And he's been super supportive, and he's still, you know,
Fantastic.
we're still buying equipment. He's got a building in Gainesville. It's full of twice as much equipment as I have here.
gosh,
Because
really?
he's the one he beat into my head that you have to have backup equipment.
Wow.
Because if you are in an industry where it has to be done, you have to be able to change
Smart.
it out. You have to have enough.
And so you probably have.
Oh, yeah.
right?
And bigger equipment.
And bigger. I've got much bigger equipment. Right?
Really?
Well, you know, we've been buying equipment for a long time for whatever's coming in the future and upgrades and growing and big. You know, so I've got a couple 80-quart mixers instead of 60s,
Wow.
right? So you just big rotary
big
oven.
mixer.
Yeah, you got. You know,
Yeah.
they make them a lot bigger.
Yeah,
than that,
yeah.
But you know, an 80-quart mixer is a pretty sizable. You know, weighs about as much as a car.
Crazy.
So you know, it's
Wow.
solid piece of equipment. But he's
Kidding.
really like the unsung hero of like.
Beautiful.
You know, Crème de la Coco. He really does a great job, so he's awesome.
Amazing. And you have all these pieces in place that just make for the perfect business. I mean, truly, it sounds like everything is already there. I mean, maybe it's taken 10 years or maybe less than that, but you really have now a basis for anything. So in the future, speaking of the future, are there plans for, I mean, I would love to have little Crème de la Cocos all over Florida. Your branding is so good, it'd make a great franchise, but I don't know if that's a thought in the works or maybe.
We're definitely planning to go bigger.
I love it.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Sneaky for the locals especially.
Yes.
What would you say is your favorite? Do you have a morning routine that you go by? I like to talk to entrepreneurs about this. I feel like either you do or you don't. There's
Yeah, I
that's
could tell you
important,
exactly
or-
what it is. So, wakes up at 6:30, goes to Burn Boot Camp at 8. I get the kids ready for school, get them out. I go home, work out, and we're all to work by like 9.
Amazing.
That's pretty much what it is.
So you have your staff baking for you.
Yep, so the first shift comes in at 5, and they leave at 1, and then the second shift comes in at 12, and they leave at 8.
Amazing. That sounds like a great day. I love Burn Boot Camp. I was doing that for a while, but switched to choose now. But
Oh yeah.
it's such a great place here. Do you take advantage of the beach? Do you take advantage of the sunshine here, or have you kind of?
Mostly in the fall though. That's our favorite
Yeah.
time. It's just less crowded and there's a nice cool breeze and the boys love to all fish together.
Yeah, surf fishing is like when the weather's right and
Yeah.
the tides are right. I'll pick them up from school every day and we'll go out there till like 6 or 7, and you know, or if it's like nice days and stuff like that. But yeah, it's when it's nice, and when it's hot, it's really hot.
It's really hot right now.
It is hot.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we're not even into July or August yet, and we like, whew.
Just getting started, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be
Yeah, that's all right. It's part of it.
warm season. Yeah.
It's always cool though in here.
Yeah,
You
it
can
is
count
always
on that.
cool in here. That's true. And the ice cream is available. Yeah, you can come cool off here anytime. Talk a little bit about collaboration, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I know you have a collaboration with Cookie Bird, and they're most delicious sundae there. Do you collaborate with other businesses in the area?
We do. That's a such a fun part of what we do. For years, we have collaborated with Declaration & Co., Laura over there. So she actually still to this day creates all of our labels with me. And she was always such an inspiration for just making things cute and fun. But also we make a lot of things for the St. Augustine Distillery, which is awesome. We do marshmallows and chocolate bars and popcorn, truffles. And we do serve our desserts at many restaurants in town. So we've been over at Michael's for almost probably 9 years, 8 or 9 years now. And La Nouvelle, his newer restaurant.
We do stuff for the chop shops.
Yeah, both the chop shops, Poor Mike's.
Amphitheater.
Yeah. You can get our cookie sandwiches at the amphitheater.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and a lot of desserts. And the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall, too.
Yep.
So,
Terrific.
yeah,
a lot.
we're in different places,
Yeah.
so it's fun.
I mean, that sounds like a business in itself, just the collaborations that you're doing.
Well, I think we're a little bigger than people think we might be, you know, because I think your average bakery and stuff is, you know, but we have a nice balance between like volume production and quality, right? Because there's a fine line there because we can't lose it being good in lieu of like a lot. So
mass producing.
Yeah, it's just you have to be able to do that in a bakery. I think that's generally like their downfalls, or if you're just doing it all yourself, like there has to be some sort of volume play. If there isn't, and you're one person and you're just doing cakes, that's fine. But if you're just doing it out of your house, that's really hard.
Yeah.
Right? It's like doing like really big cakes out of your house is tough. I don't think people appreciate how hard it is because with the size ovens, it just, oof. Yeah, because I did it for a little bit and I was like, I don't really bake at home anymore. If I'm gonna bake, I just come here.
Yeah, I bet. Why wouldn't you?
It's easier.
You have it all
it's
there.
easier.
Yeah.
So
that's important, I think, for at least cottage bakeries and people who want to start that kind of a business.
Yeah.
It's not that easy in your kitchen, right? Like, commercial equipment is way better producing and
it's
right.
Instead of baking 4 8-inch cakes, you can bake 25.
Yeah.
Same effort, basically. Same effort, right?
Right,
It's just bigger equipment, same effort.
Just more.
Yeah, more
But
dishes.
You're keeping the quality. You're not willing to compromise that quality.
Yep.
Yeah, that's important. So in wrapping up, I think the most important question I like to ask is, are you living your dream? Do you feel that you're living your dream life?
Oh, yes.
You are.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like just being able to find happiness is my dream. So,
And you found it.
yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
How about you, Phil?
For me, if I'm being honest, it's bigger than I ever thought it would be by a lot. It's better than what I thought it would be, right? And I just feel fortunate that, you know, all these great people have come in our lives and we've had some success and things have gone well and we've gotten opportunities and we take them. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably past what my dreams were, right? You know, it's like I've got 2 kids that are happy, a business, you know, like every part of a community was always a big deal for us. And it's really nice to have like roots, and it's really kind of surreal and sometimes because I walk in here and I'm like, man, this is our place. Like, this is crazy. Like, but there's people doing stuff that I'm not necessarily involved in now, and something new comes out and I'm just like, oh man, this is so cool. Like we get the cake sheets that have like all the printed out pictures and I'm like, man, it's fancy. Right, but it's just it's you know, these things happen and it's really great. I wouldn't want it any other way. You know, we get to hang out all day and see each other and, you know, build all this stuff together, and it's a lot of fun, and it's great. I feel very lucky.
Amazing. I think that competitive spirit in you, though, still wants maybe a little more.
Always.
Always. It's important to be grateful for what you have.
I'm always
want more, right?
Yeah, I'm always wondering where the next shop's gonna be, who's gonna show up next, right? You know, it's fun for me, right?
Yeah.
I like competition. I like to be competitive. I like to do a good job. I think that's important, right? You know, I've got a lot of pride in it. So, but no, it's more than what I thought it would ever be. So it's been great.
Incredible. Well, thank you both
Thank you.
so much.
Of course.
For being here. It was a treat to be able to chat with you both, and I think St. Augustine and the rest of the world will be quite happy to see and to hear a little from you.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Thanks for having us, and we'll get you some desserts now.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I trust that whatever was meant for you in this conversation will remind you there's a way to build a life you love. Follow where it leads, and I'll see you in the next session. Be sure to like and subscribe to never miss an episode.